Prime TV, new media with a difference.
Enough is Enough, Soro Soke is the show dedicated to debate and discussion towards a better Niger for all of us.
One day, our Niger go good. Now so then they talk good. One day, our mumu go do. Now so we talk.
When it comes to choosing the right product for my skin, it's all about the ingredients for me. NN9JA skincare products are authentic, fresh, and best of all, completely organic. I love the Motherland Moisturizer. It's designed to smooth and soak in the skin without ever feeling greasy, and their Jade Roller has literally become a part of my self-care routine. Visit NN9JAskincare.com today and receive 20% off your first order. For beautiful skin you were born to love.
Hi guys, my name is Yabo and I am the founder of Masasi B. If you're looking for unique African-inspired clothing and accessories, please check out my brand. All details are at the end of this video. Feel free to get in touch. Thank you.
Are you looking for a well-furnished apartment, pocket-friendly, smart, good condition, fully equipped kitchen, security and stable network? Say goodbye to the stress of searching for a perfect home. Welcome a hassle-free settlement like never before. Our service apartment is thoughtfully designed to be your new home away from home, ensuring you feel welcome from the moment you step in. An apartment that appeals to business travelers, remote workers, family vacations and holidays. Our apartment have been conceptualized as a haven of corporate and leisure travelers who want a short or extended stay at an affordable price. Gain access to comfortable and luxurious space without having to burn a hole in your wallet. We welcome you to a new level of luxury and convenience.
Feels so soft. Curl pattern has just bounced back. Look at that. Without any product in the hair at all. When you use Sherma Haven's natural hair care product line, your hair flourishes and becomes the main attraction.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to BETTA9JA, Soro Soke, the online show on Prime View Television, sponsored by BETTA9JA. I'm your host, Mr. Femi Oke. Welcome you to the show dedicated to debate and discussions towards the BETTA9JA for us all. Today, I want to welcome into my guest in the studio, in the backstage. We have Dr. Olufemi Oba-Kanranwi. I don't know if he's in. Dr. Olufemi Oba-Kanranwi. We have Temitayo Agema Okuboye Josh. He should be there. We have Praise Uyi, who should be in the background.
Hello.
Welcome,
Evening.
Praise. How are you doing? It's a long time.
Thank you. Very good. Yes.
Okay. We also have Pastor Adeoye Obanlewo and Mr. Matt Godwin, CEO of Schengen Media Group.
Hey, Femo. It's good to see you again. I thought the austerity measures got you. You know, it's been long I had.
Yes, so welcome to BETTA9JA, Soro Soke. So
welcome.
Tonight's topic,
yeah, nice to have you.
Okay.
Yeah, tonight's topic is about NNPCL's 7 billion fraud that's happened. You all know about the fraud, and we also know about the alliance for democratic. Let me start again. All Democratic Alliance going to, are they going to save Nigeria? They're called ADA. And so people are calling them Adaobi. So we're going to delve into that and other current affairs and issues that are happening in Nigeria right now. So Yeah, so let me tell you, you can contact us at our Prime View Television, BETTA9JA, YouTube, Facebook, and X handles. You can also call in with questions and comments on +44 7939 895 108. I'll repeat that for you, +44 7939 895 108. The number should be scrolling at the bottom of your screens. Right, so let's start with this question now. That I want to basically ask my guests, because I haven't seen you guys for a while now, and it's 2 years of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government. What is your scorecard and of this government? Has it been a disaster, or is it work in progress on the right trajectory? I'll start with you, Praise, my good man from Germany.
I think that's not something to ask. Even you know what it is. It's been a disaster. There is no two ways about it. So it's like we were saying Buhari was bad, but this one is terrible. There is nothing to compare what is going on with this government. And I feel so sad that people like you brought this curse upon us. So
it's a curse, is it?
yes, of course. And
welcome to the show, Dr. Olufemi Obakanwe. Can you hear us?
Hello, yeah. Femi, good evening. Sorry,
good. Welcome.
Just getting in. Sorry.
So,
no problem.
Hello,
well,
guys,
we got the first
everyone.
question, which Praise is answering, and I've asked him, what's the scorecard? Has government been a disaster, or is it work in progress? He says a disaster.
In security? Can you give them pass marks in security? Can you give them pass mark in economy? In which area can you give this government a pass mark? So I expect you and Olufemi and others that brought this curse upon us to start apologizing publicly. And we will forgive you, because it's normal to make a mistake in life, but only you have to realize it, accept it, and confess your sins, and you will be forgiven.
That sounds familiar. Are you planning on joining APC? Because I know Delta State don't change you. Anyway, because you're using their talking points. Let me go on to you, Matt Godwin. The same question, is this work in progress or less on Nigerians, as Praise has told us?
Well, Femi, I like to be objective. I like to say this regardless of what could be on, no bias, no sentiment. I think, listen to this. I'm neither APC nor a politician, but we look at numbers, and we look at things from that eagle eye. Now, to some extent, the present regime have made some progressive moves. I must say this. We've had some things that we didn't have back in, 4 years ago. Some governmental policies that never worked that have begun to work now. We also have some changes in some things too, but it's more like a work in progress. You can't judge a man's performance by his it's a work in progress. Things are still going on. So on 100, on a scale of 100, I will give this present administration 45. Scale of 100.
You are far too kind.
Fantastic.
Yes, 45.
Okay. Well, that's still F9, or is it P7? I'm not sure what it is now. Was it P8? Let me go on to Pastor. Pastor, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Femi. How
on
are
this
you?
account, 2 years. Some people have called it 2 years of continued shege, renewed shege. What do you say?
Femi, I want to say a big hello to my fellow colleagues in the panel as well. I think you see, it's with mixed feelings. It's with mixed feelings. When you are a beneficiary of this administration, you will never see anything wrong. Okay, just like my brother said earlier, somebody like my brother here, Femi, will never see anything wrong with this administration. Okay, So, but
I'm
for
not a
those,
beneficiary.
no. I'm talking of my brother here, Femi, Dr. Kenwe, yeah. So, but for those who are actually on ground, for those who are actually on ground and actually have to go through the rigors of pain on a daily basis, they will understand the nitty-gritty of what this administration has got to offer. Okay, but when you are, as I said, when you are a beneficiary and you are part of the process that has actually brought Nigeria to her knees, then you will never see anything wrong because you are part of the people that put us in this perilous situation anyway. So he is the one that orchestrated how Buhari got there in the first instance. Say no, he failed the first time, the second time, but the third time he said to him, "Don't worry, you'll get there." So they've turned it into a family affair. Don't worry, you serve your 8 years, then I will come in. So, but look at the mess our country is in now. So it will take time. But I don't think he can actually do much. So whether this coalition of Alegbeshola and Atiku actually works, I don't think that's going to serve any purpose because we don't really need them. Because when Atiku was in government as well, what purpose did they serve? So I think we need to get rid of all these old cargoes. Get rid of them. Start afresh. Nigeria needs fresh ideas, fresh people. There are so many people in Nigeria who are intelligent people under the age of 50. Look at what that guy is doing in Burkina Faso. Even though we might say, oh, Burkina Faso is a small country. Listen, let me finish. We might say it's a small country, but we need people with leadership credentials. We need people with leadership credentials who understand the importance of democracy, who will put the needs of their people first above personal aggrandizement. So until we begin...
You can't surely be telling us that the guy in Burkina Faso who's a dictator, is a military man. He's not putting us anything of the dividends of democracy.
Listen, why would you say he's a dictator?
Hold on. Listen, let me... Well, come on, he's not a democratically elected person.
Listen, Femi. Listen,
Tinubu a Democrat?
Let me talk.
Absolutely,
Let me speak. Let me speak. You said he's not a democratic elected leader. But the ones who are democratic in Nigeria, what are they offering us? This is somebody who is saying to you, to his people that listen, your needs, your fears comes first, must take prevalence over any other thing. So the ones that are democratically elected, that have bled that country dead. So what are we talking about here? Please, let's apply some common sense when we're talking. Okay?
Let's Doctor answer the question anyway. Doctor, I mean, you can be taught on the Burkina Faso thing. I mean, the thing I would just say about Burkina Faso, I wouldn't go as far as to say that people's lives are better off now in Burkina Faso than they were before. That's open to question, but we're not talking about that. But let's talk about Nigeria. They said 2 years of renewed shege for our party because President Tinubu has done continuation of the shege from Buhari, and that things are worse. They told us that there's no dividends of democracy. Everything is worse. In fact, Pastor Obanle was just said that Nigeria is on its knees. I don't know how he came to that conclusion. I'd want to go deep into that kind of analysis of how Nigeria is on its knees, because as an economy, there's no one out there telling seriously, with any seriousness, saying that Nigeria is on its knees. What say you, Doctor?
Thank you very much, Femi. The doomsday politicians are at it again. First, most of them, I will say with all, I can beat my chest on, most of the people that are shouting at it, they don't even know what democracy is. We, including myself, fought for democracy in Nigeria. Democracy is not a destination. It is a journey. They don't have an understanding of what it is. It's a journey. We are going on a journey. In this same democracy we're talking about, everybody can talk about anything about Nigeria. They can abuse Buhari, Tinubu, anybody now. During the military era, you dare not do it. You will, if they don't catch you, they'll catch your family members, and you are gone. And Pastor Deoye, you are insulting Nigerians by talking about Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, where the dictator, if you talk anything about him, you are dead. You are talking about that. Are you saying that Nigeria is better than
Nigerians are running there because they are dying in Nigeria?
Nigerians have always been running. Nigerians have always been traveling. Don't bring that. My Femi's parents and my parents came here before the civilian government, before the Western
60s.
government. So don't give me that. We've always been traveling. 60s. Don't bring that into them. We've always been traveling. Nigerians have always been traveling. We are 250 million. We cannot stay in one place. We are the most traveled people in Nigeria. Don't bring that as an excuse. We've always been traveling.
Let's focus, Doctor. I don't want you to lose track.
Let's
I
talk
want
about
to focus.
what we're talking about.
Yeah, let's focus on the 2 years.
Yes.
Let's start telling, because you haven't told us anything positive about. Is it a work in progress and the positive things?
Thank you, Femi. Sorry about that, Femi. The 2 years we have talked about. In 2 years, we have not had ASU strike. In 2 years, we have a student loan. In two years we're talking about here, we have not had what's called fuel scarcity. In 2 years we're talking about now, we've had 2,000 mechanized agricultural product machines put on our farms. In 2 years we're talking about now, we have talked about industrialization, we're talking about new tax reforms. In 2 years we're talking about here, we have talked about democracy, where the state governors are paying salaries. In 2 years now, we've not. How many times have we had workers strike because governors have not paid salaries? All they can't see, even if Jesus Christ becomes president of Nigeria and they are not supporting that Jesus Christ did not die on the cross. That is to them. I want to put it to them, there is nothing that Bola Tinubu can do. So you didn't vote for him. If whatever he does, you can't see it, so it doesn't make any difference. People that knows what we are doing and knows where we are going, democracy is a journey, not a destination. To you, you don't know what democracy is. You are here hyping a military government, a junta that kills people to get into office and kills people that go against him. I am disappointed in you.
Okay,
yeah,
no
you
worries.
also forget to mention. No, in 2 years, you also did 30 kilometers of road, Calabar.
Okay.
You don't even know what development is.
Praise.
You don't even know what development is.
Praise. Let me give Praise another stab. I mean, look, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but they're not entitled to their facts. I want to know, Praise, with the facts, what were the facts in May 2023? The facts were that Nigeria wasn't able to pay, was almost not able to pay its balance of payment account. It did because it didn't have money. It was borrowing to pay salaries. Yeah. So we were on the precipice. There was no money in the kitty. So, and all the other candidates, that's OB and Atiku and even Kwankwaso, also said they were going to remove subsidies and float the Naira. So I'm just wondering, what difference would have been the situation if any of the other two would be in place? Because now they're saying, no, they wouldn't have done it. Do you want us to go back and reinstate subsidies now? Do you think that should be on the manifesto in 2027?
So now we are talking about 2 years, and I see Dr. Olufemi, we are just mentioning trivial things that are not even here or there. In 2 years, can you give this government pass mark in security? Can you give this government pass mark in security? In 2 years, can you tell me that Nigerians can feed 3 square meal today? Let's talk about the basic and important things, not even the trivialities that is mentioning. In 2 years, did you see the people that died in Benue? Did you declare state of emergency?
It will never mention that.
It will not mention it. You can see human being dead in Benue.
Very sentimental.
Emergency.
It will never mention that.
Sorry. Hold on. Praise. So that we can have order, so we can focus on this show. I did mention that Obi and Atiku and Kwankwaso said they would do the same things that President Tinubu was going to do. And are you telling me that if President Atiku was in position, or President Obi in position, people who want to kill people would not be killing people? Is that what you're saying?
No, they become
possibly they would have done better with security. You cannot tell me it will be the same.
Okay. I hear you. No worries.
It would be very wrong for you to say if Obi and Atiku
will go to Sahel to go and play with them.
Doctor, let him speak. Let him speak, doctor, please. speak, doctor. Let him speak.
It will be very wrong for you to say because Obi and Atiku said they will also float the naira. It means if they were there, security would have been exactly the same. No, maybe they would have taken more decisive solution to security. You can't say they will be the same.
Like what?
Tinubu is a failure in security.
Okay.
Like what?
Okay, no worries.
What is in fact? Can people eat properly in Nigeria today?
Like
so
what?
Inflation, salary remains the same.
Doctor, you really have to let him to land. I want to ask you this final question before I push it on. Praise. Just answer this question. If Obi,
what happened to Benue and other places?
Praise. Answer this question just quickly before.
In Port Harcourt.
Praise, just my question to you, and you say yes or no.
In Abuja, do you
Praise,
know?
It's just a yes or no.
Election for the next 2 years.
Okay, praise. Come on, be realistic. It's not the president printed those posters. Let me just get you to answer this question. Is a yes or no? If Obi or Atiku was the president of Nigeria now, are you telling me that there wouldn't be people will be able to eat 3 square meals? Everybody in Nigeria will be able to eat 3 square meals. Just answer yes, simple, yes or no.
Yes, it would have been better than this. Obviously.
Fantastic. Matt Godwin, I want to go on to you. Let's go on to you. Matt Godwin.
This, obviously.
Yes.
I understand. Matt Godwin.
It's interesting to hear everybody speak, but life, we will never have all of us in one spot. I mean, we all won't agree on things. Earlier, I said, yes, like Dr. Femi said, democracy is a process. It's not a one spot thing. Well, we still have shortcomings too. Dr. Femi listed some of the things the president has done so far, but in each of those indices, there are also defaults with those things he has achieved. We were talking about, for example, security. It's been worse off, actually. Nigeria experiences more inhumane, gruesome act on its citizen than before, and that's a disadvantage. We also talk about let's look into some other financial things. Take note that more companies are leaving Nigeria now. More companies that have always done business in Nigeria in the past years are leaving because the conditions, the financial, economic conditions on ground for them is not favorable, and that's a disadvantage. Those companies have they've done a lot of good. I mean, employed Nigerians, put food on the table on your average Nigeria. And Dr. Femi and Femi, you guys need to know something. Like Praise is trying to say, as long as the ordinary citizen of a country is not seeing the essence of living and life, whatever policy government is doing is trash to them. That's a fact. So if the average man is not eating, he can't food. They say people can't eat in Nigeria. I mean, those are the basic.
My Godwin, we are here in the. My Godwin, you are in Italy. You are in Italy. Praise is in Germany. The other lot are in England. And we're pontificating, making statements that people are not eating. I phone Nigeria every day. I speak to my workers every day. They're eating 3 square meals a day. I don't know what you're talking about. And they're not living in the cities. They're living in the villages.
Listen, we have different range of
hold on. So let me just say my point. To say that some people.
But I know.
Okay, let me finish.
I can't find 1 square meal a day. It's like,
and I can show you hundreds and thousands of people in the UK are not eating 3 square meals a day as well. And there's childhood poverty where people are going on food queues and so on here in the UK. There's a cost of living crisis. It's not exclusive to Nigeria.
As long as the citizens are not having those simple basic things. I mean, life doesn't require those people in the UK that are probably not eating is because they are overfed. They are probably
they are what? They are what?
That's a fact. Now our people have not even seen the good
Okay.
food. Talk less of going
All right.
through what they're going through
That's
now.
not
You
true.
know?
But anyway, let
No,
me
I
give
tell
let me
you.
allow
That
let
is
me
not
allow
true.
let me allow let me allow the
Right.
pastor
Yeah,
pastor
it's fun. It's okay. Right.
pastor because I actually had a different question for you, but you continued with that one. My God, and I'll come back to you. Let me give this question to Pastor. With the commissioning after commissioning FCT, can we say Wike is working, and will that result in APC winning Abuja in 2027? Or do you believe El-Rufai, his personal scientific poll, that President Buhari, President Tinubu has a 91% disapproval rating across Nigeria? Do you believe that statistic?
With Wike, let me put it this way. Remember what I said a few minutes ago. For those who are actually benefiting from the system, they will never see anything wrong with I have a lot of people there who have actually told me personally that a lot of lands, when it comes to land acquisition, a lot of lands have actually been revoked and all that. Maybe the way, the mannerism in which they pursue those pieces of land and all that, yeah, to an extent, I think he's doing a great job. But at the same time, one thing needs to be known: is there sincerity of purpose in everything that it stands for? When there's sincerity of purpose, your work will speak for itself later on. So whether after 4 years, Nigerians will come out to say, okay, let's be fair with this guy. Okay, he's still a PDP member. He's working in alliance with the president because maybe the president needs him for 2027. Only time will tell. So after 2027, if people can still say, okay, Wike, he's had his shortcomings. Okay, he was privy to how the governor of Rivers State was actually removed, how the state of emergency was declared because of their selfish interests. Okay, but as a minister, Abuja is not what it was 4 years ago. He's cleaned up Abuja. Okay, a lot of lands have been revoked because, okay, probably the process in which they acquired those lands before it was not through the right channel. Okay, I don't know much about that, but right now, the first 2 years, it's very, very, very difficult to actually say he's done a very good job. Whether he can deliver Abuja to the president in 2027 is yet to be seen. But on the overall performance, based on the 36 states and how the present administration is actually going about their business, the usual thing is still going to happen in 2027, where, as usual, most of the judges, the INEC, are in the pocket of the presidency, and they will have so much money in 2027 to buy their way, So forget about this forget about article and what him and Aregbesola are doing. There will be enough money in circulation to bribe a lot of people who are going to be on that side. You see, because the only thing that works in Nigeria, the only language they understand in Nigeria is money, and it comes from people who know that at the end of the day, it is always the highest bidder. So forget about what Atiku is doing or whatever. 2027, I can honestly tell you that there's nobody who's going to compete with this guy, because as a president, he has the treasury at his disposal. So nobody can really, he's going to spend his 8 years. Femi, let's be honest with ourselves. Nigeria is not a country where we have a lot of people with integrity. 99% of our leaders there don't have integrity. They're not people of consequence. So I can assure you, Femi, are we talking about the judiciary? Are we talking of INEC? There is none of these people that you can rely on that we can say, honestly, we can have a free and fair election in 2027.
We'll talk about 2027. We'll talk about 2027 in a minute when we get onto the part about ADA, the All Democratic Alliance. But let me move on back to the main topic, which is about the corruption in Nigeria. Now, with the ongoing trial of Emefiele and the confiscation of over 700 properties, this is for you, Doctor, and the arrest of the NNPCL officials accused of over $7 billion, not Naira, $7 billion fraud in NNPCL. Can we say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's APC government is serious about fighting corruption? Because that's one of the manifesto promises.
Thank you, Femi. It is important for us to note that building institution to fight corruption is different from just fighting corruption for the gallery. NNPC have been a terrible institution that has no accountability. And this government decided to shake NNPC, and now we begin to see, and this needs to be exposed. This is something that should be applauded by those who really care for Nigeria. This is a real fight for against corruption. To the extent that if you realize recently there was an amendment about the control of EFCC, by the National Assembly, the president refused it to sign that amendment because he wants to give the EFCC a free hand. So one of the things we need to understand is that our main source of income in Nigeria at the moment is oil, and NNPC has been controlling this. So this needs to be dealt with, and it's been. Look at the MFLA issue as well. Now, as government is fighting corruption in order to get this out, all of a sudden, some people have gone to court to stop government from selling those houses because they want to use the normal process of delaying it and delaying until the government leaves and then now give back to me, which is normally what they've done. Look at the case of this woman in Minister of Petroleum, Madweke, Alice Madweke. Some people are blocking the opportunity for them to get rid of our assets. So these are the things. When you're talking about fighting the corruption, people think it is one person that is fighting. There are 1,001 people fighting back when corruption is fighting back, and including common man and people in the judiciary, people in the lawyers that are using all the means of law to stop corruption, to stop a fight against corruption. So for us to see this in the open, we should applaud this. And I expect people on this panel, if they really love Nigeria, and stop playing politics and show the care for Nigeria. And I can hear that people are saying that, did you see how many people that were killed? For goodness sake, go and do investigation about what is happening in the Sahel and see the level of carnage that's being done in African countries above us. These people are trickling from this place, and we cannot go and put fence around those places. We are not fighting we're not fighting against people that you see daily. We are fighting about people, foreigners, and it is very difficult to fight this thing. For us to sit on this panel and condemn everything, condemn government, condemn the military, condemn everybody, and just because we are in the comfort of Western nation, it is sad. We should begin to see Nigeria as a project for ourselves. Forget about the government that because you don't like the president, you don't like someone in office, doesn't mean that you begin to condemn everything that comes from Nigeria. And I can hear pastors saying that, they're going to bribe this, they're going to bribe. For goodness sake, how can you say they're going to bribe Ministry Justice, you're going to bribe this, going to bribe that? Why do you say this? Why?
but that was what happened.
Okay, let me bring Oye back in. I want to remind everybody you're watching BETTA9JA, Soro, Soke, the online show dedicated to debate and discussions with the BETTA9JA for us all. I'm still with my guests, and we're discussing the fraud, the NNPC fraud, and we're also discussing the All Democratic Alliance and the focus on what's going to happen in 2027 and other current affairs issues in Nigeria. And my guest, I want to bring this next question to you, Praise. And it's really moving on because someone on the platform who posted, he said, I think his name is Bola Kanwi. I don't know if he's related to you, Doctor. He said he posted the problem of insecurity. Okay, he's your cousin. Well, I don't know. He's saying the problem of insecurity is AK-47 wielding Fulani, and we won't have security until everyone has a right to bear arms. So, Praise, usually there are never arrests after a mass murder incident in Nigeria. But now, after President Tinubu went to Benue, he asked that question that why aren't there any arrests? I don't know why President Buhari didn't ask the same question when he was there. But anyway, after that, we've now had the arrest of 28 suspects of the 200 people who were killed in Benue State, and they self-confessed. These people have confessed, and we also had the arrest of another 20-odd people for the massacre that happened in Plateau State. will you say that something may happen, like President Tinubu said he wants to see a situation where this disaster, this massacre, results in prosperity in Benue, and that the leaders within Benue should come together to solve their problem? What say you, Uyi? Or is this a matter of the president and it's all about the president?
First of all, Dr. Olufemi is speaking like this because he's living in his comfort zone in UK. If he was living in Benue, he would not be speaking like this. He would not be speaking like this. You see, now he can walk out 2 a.m. and say he's going to work or going anywhere. If he was living in Benue, he would not speak like this. I saw how he was arguing passionately that Nigerians are not hungry because he can take £2 and he have one big chicken and he can eat it for 3 days. It will not finish when Nigerians are dying of hunger. No problem.
Let's talk about these people have been apprehended now. What do you say? What say you about that?
At the end of the day, even the NNPC you are talking about, the people they caught with corruption and all that. What is the end game? That's the point. What's the end game? How do they follow it up at the end of the day? Maybe later a year, they've been rehabilitated, and now they will even put them back, if possible, to work with the police and all that. So what we have in Nigeria is selective justice. Emefiele you are talking about, if Emefiele worked with Tinubu very well during the election, are you telling me that Emefiele would have gone through all of this? No. Where's Yaya Bello today? What's happening with Yaya Bello?
If you know, Yaya Bello's on trial. Yaya Bello's on trial. He's on trial. Yaya Bello's on trial. If you don't know that he's on trial,
money in NNPC should pick a PC card and they are safe. No problem. That is what is happening. If you are with the ruling party,
really think so?
No problem.
You really think so? Okay.
That's what
remember,
it is.
let me go to my Godwin. Remember, before the 2023 elections, there was a chance that Godwin Emefiele was going to run for presidency with the money, the alleged stolen money. I mean, I don't know how anyone can be defending him. But let me go on to you. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has so let's get back onto this new. So let me not go into current affairs, but let's talk about ADA. We heard that the likes of Atiku and Rufai and what's his name, Amechi and Aregbesola and others have come together in the coalition of the what I call strange bedfellows to create the ADA, which they call the All Democratic Alliance of people who I think are just, they're like opposites attract, the way I see it, but I don't think it's going to work. What say you? Because before they were talking about joining the SDP, joining other parties. I'm not sure if they were going to join your party. What do you think of that, this ADA? Is it fit for purpose? Is it going to be able to change anything in 2027? Or is this Tinubu all the way, on your mandate we stand?
Yeah, good one. First of all, let's put out some facts, some breakdown of that NNPC thing. It's not Nigerians. It's something to do with two managers, two international officers, Fidelity International, whatever it was. And these two people were involved in a kind of trading that violates the company's policy. So let's take note of that. It's good to put out stories exactly how it is. So the NNPC thing is not to do with some foreigners that have violated the policy.
With the help of Nigerians.
For now, it's just these two people that are like the two culprits. Okay, let's talk about the ADA thing. Well, you saw me right in our group chat. It's just dead on arrival for me. All of those things, it's not. You see, the problem with Nigerians is we really haven't gotten the essence of this thing. Like Dr. Femi was saying earlier, democracy. We're just doing it like that real primitive way, the way they do. The white man will say banana republic. That's just what we're doing, rigmaroling, rambling, rosing, and all that. And it's crazy. Every day a new party is formed, and it's still the same thing. No ideology, no aim, no goal. It's still that same let's form a party, let's come together, let's get into governance, let's embezzle fund, the chairman embezzle, that is still the same thing. There's no difference. So when I see new ones come in, I just laugh because I know it's still the same thing. We're still in that same circle. Yes, these three men seem to be creating the alliance, but it's still an alliance of fraud because each one of them has their story of not being very transparent and honest in their dealings. So whatever alliance they create is just embodying and enlarging the scale of crash that will be happening when they form. It's sad. It's sad, Femi. Dr. Femi.
What about the link to your party? I think your party, the ADC, is it ADC or what's your party?
ADC, we had that plan with some of those personalities, but it was trashed out because, like I said earlier, they come with that same mindset. There's nothing new, nothing. It's that same mindset of how we're going to steal ballot papers, how we're going to rig the election, and all those things Nigerians do. Somebody said Nigeria is deficient in honesty and having integrity, and that's a shame that we're saying this, because in a world where people, integrity, honesty, all of these things play out to develop people, to develop nation, but we are short. We find ourselves short in this. So yes, they came to ADC. They wanted to have an alliance, but when the cards were dropped, they didn't agree to it. Let's hope well, but believe me, ADA, whatever they form, all these things, it's going nowhere because it's still the same thing. It's still the same thing. Femi.
Okay, good. Let me come to you, Pastor. With the League of Northern Democrats, along with Atiku, El-Rufai, Amechi, and Okonkwo at the forefront of this shaky coalition, is it yet another Northern-led coalition to unseat yet another Southern president in 2027? They did same in 2015 when they got rid of Goodluck. Now they're trying to do it again when there's another Southern president. It looks like this whole thing is an alliance of Tinubu haters to take power back to the north. Do you think that's going to work when you see all the Southern governors in the South and the Southeast, South anyway, at least, are now decamping to the APC? Do you think it's going to be a battle of North against South in 2027?
Femi, you cannot compare Goodluck Jonathan to the president we have here. When we talk during the military era in Nigeria, IBB was referred to as the Maradona of Nigeria. So the one we have here is even 3 times much smarter and much wiser. So he has his people, he has his cronies around him, and this is not about hating anybody. This is about facts. You see, because when it's time for us to actually go down to the nitty-gritty of what is actually happening in our country, so that people will know that yes, Nigeria is still a laughing stock. When we're serious about moving our country forward, then we need to get rid of all these people who are just bleeding this country. Fabi, the answer to your question is simple, and I'll be upfront with you. You see, forget about this people coming together to think they can form an alliance. Whether you see what they can do is probably try to not give him a majority that he'll probably desperately crave for, because obviously Atiku, he will definitely have his followers in the north. Kwankwaso is there, and you have Aregbesola in the south. You have Rotimi Amaechi in the. So it depends on how popular these people are. But at the end of the day, most of these guys too, they are already a spent force. Nobody really values anything they have to offer because they were privy to the problems we are having in Nigeria anyway. Well, what did Rotimi Amaechi achieve when he was governor of Rivers State? He was minister for transport. So he too has nothing to offer. Aregbesola is the same thing. Was Aregbesola not best of friends with Tinubu before they fell out? So these people, I don't take them seriously when it comes to the politics of Nigeria. So the question is, between now and next year, before elections hold in 2017, things will begin to unfold. We'll begin to see a clearer picture of what is going to happen. But Femi, being in politics for 25 years, I have seen it all. If anybody tells me now that PDP is still an electable party, I'll tell you that, listen, forget about my party as well. And would you ever see me, because when we had the opportunity to build on what the legacy of Obasanjo left for Yaradua, unfortunately, we allowed these people to come in and they hijacked it. They came and they hijacked it, and still they're there. So that is a problem. There's nothing like continuity. Okay, what the problem we have in Nigeria is there's no continuity. Okay, when you have a government that means well, that is purposeful, they will never give you the opportunity to flourish, because we have a lot of sycophants, we have a lot of people who want to be in government just because of what they can benefit in government. Nothing to offer. Okay. And I always go by this thing: you cannot give what you don't have. It's impossible. You cannot give what you don't have. When you find people, sorry.
Can I give you a follow-up? Can I give you a follow-up question? Just because you mentioned people that have the capacity to work and stuff. I remember, you know, sometime last year you were championing Segun Shomi to be the new chairman for the PDP, but he looks like he's now moving towards President Tinubu's APC. What say you? Are you likely to decamp anytime soon? Leo, go and talk to us now. You know what's happening. Tell us. We can't hear you. Your mic is off. You're muted. Doctor. Okay, we're gonna have to come back to
No. Okay. Sorry, let me finish answering. Yeah. You see, Showunmi as a person, I think he's tried everything possible within his means to make sure that, look, we cannot continue like this. We are a fractured party, and when you have when you have people who are meant to know better, and you know they're nowhere to be seen, and you're still putting your own personal needs ahead of party unity, then you see, Femi, it will get to a stage where people would say, listen, what are you still doing with these people? It's better for you to move on, because what he is trying to do is not to protect his own selfish interests, but what he's trying to do is malign with the welfare of Nigerians by saying, okay, if I cannot do it in PDP, let me move forward and do it somewhere else. But I'll be surprised, Femi, as you rightly said.
I'm asking you, what about you?
No, I'm asking, what about you? As far as I'm concerned, I want to still be seen as a person of consequence. I'm a person of integrity. Okay. If PDP is not working, I think as a Nigerian, I have the right to criticize. I have the right to put my input into how I feel the direction Nigeria should be moving. Whether I'm still a party carrying member or not, I'm still a Nigerian and I'm entitled to my opinion. So as far as PDP is concerned, I'll rest my case. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we might see you tearing up your card soon. But let me go on to Doctor. Doctor, Nigerians are saying PDP and Labour Party and even the SDP are just a laughing stock. Do we have any serious opposition in Nigeria? Can the opposition alliance work without OB on the ticket, really? And that's not the VP ticket. Is it really going to amount to anything, or is this just going to be another exercise in futility?
Femi, when you have, thank God, Pastor said something Pastor Dewey said something that we are dealing with a master strategist. The only thing he didn't say that is we are dealing with an astute leader of men and nations. He didn't say that. He refused to say that, and that is because the state. These people you are talking about, PDP, their governors are even saying that they are not supporting their coalition. Their governors are supporting the president because they are getting their state allocation, double, triple state allocation. They are having funds to do their project in their state. Why would they abandon that and go and follow somebody that doesn't know road? That is one. Secondly, these parties, the people that are holding the fourth in these parties, they don't even know their left from their right. They are fighting each other for crumbs on their parties. You want somebody to go and stay in that party so that they will, when there's nomination, INEC will disqualify them after they won election. We saw what happened to APC in Jigawa State. They've seen that. They don't want that to happen to them. They saw what happened to APC in Rivers State. They don't want that to happen to them. That's why they are jumping a sinking ship. These parties are like Macron said, they are they are disappointment from the onset. You are talking about El-Rufai that can't win his state. His son is not even supporting his drive. You are talking about Rotimi Amaechi that has not won any election since Wike left him. He has never won any election since then. We are talking about Rauf Aregbesola, who doesn't, whether he's in Osun State, is because they've taken Ali Mosho from him, he's throwing tantrums. So you have this kind of bedfellows within the same party. They are calling themselves Ada, or what is it? They don't want to dance to Awilo or what. So when we have this kind of people, bedfellows, strange bedfellows together, they are jokers. 2027 is 2 years away. Between now and 2027, by the time the dividends of democracy begin to come forth, people will know the direction of Nigeria. These 2 years this first 2 years is planting process years. In the next 2 years, we see the germination of those things that have been planted. Economic policies don't turn over in 1-2 years. It turns over in about 2-3 years, and policies begin to roll in. And you get to see the effect of those ones. We've bought 2,000 mechanized farming now. By the time we start working, those who are shouting that we are hungry, people are saying we are hungry. Every day they are party in Lagos and all over Nigeria. They say we are hungry. People are buying actually every day. So we're talking about misplaced priorities. And although some Nigerians are hungry, fine. There's no nation other than the surface of the earth that has solved the poverty of everyone in Nigeria, in their nation. Democracy is a journey, it's a process, not a destination. People like this are talking as if, when we get to office, Nigeria become paradise. And they say, if Obi have done this, will Obi go to Sahel to go and fight insurgency himself?
Doctor,
please.
Doctor, let me allow Uyi to come in. Sorry, Praise. Let me give you this question, Praise. Edo, Delta, Akwa Ibom, Cross River are all in the APC camp. And even Rivers, which is remaining, Wike is supporting Tinubu for his second term. Alex Oti and Soludo from the Southeast say they are pleased with President Tinubu. Is there something we're not getting here? Because people are saying that 2027 is going to be the Nigerian people against President Tinubu. How's that really going to work when everybody is already moving in one direction?
Yeah, because we know we don't have free and fair elections in Nigeria. If we do, if governors are moving, of what importance is it? If the vote really reside within the people, of what relevance? But the governors, you need them to secure their state. Do it at all costs, like Wike did in Rivers State. If it will take you destroying ballot box, putting your people, doing anything you want to subvert the will of the people, they will do it. And this is why you need the governors, because at the end of the day, the election is not determined by the people. It's not determined by the people. So if it was determined by the people, all these people you are talking about, how many are they? Do they amount up to 2,000 votes? They don't. But we know the system in Nigeria that the power does not reside in the hand of the people. If you can secure the governor, then you use them to control the people and get what you want at the end of the day.
I dispute that statement entirely. You know the reason why I dispute that? Because the majority of Nigerians voted against APC, but the vote was split. That's why the opposition didn't win. So it's not to say that the vote of the people didn't count. The vote of the people counted exactly the way that they voted it. And if in 2027 there's no unity, so if in 2027 if there's no united in 2027 if there's no united opposition, you're going to have the same outcome.
I disagree with you. How will you say the vote of the people counted the way it ought to be when you switched off beavers? Did you not switch off the beavers?
Come on, beavers didn't stop the vote. The voting happened. That didn't stop voting. That didn't stop people voting, and the voting counted. President Bola Tinubu won with 36%, 36% of the vote. That's a minority vote for the first time. 36% of the vote he won. So what I'm saying to you is, I'm saying to you, 63% voted for the opposition. They would have won if they had won.
Which percent are you talking about? We know of a fact that the separation of PDP and OB impacted them. But at the end of the day, they did
What about
Is that
Pankajam?
Bola Tinubu's fault?
No, I'm telling you that if you left everything the way it was, Bola Tinubu will not win. That is my point. If the
Then who
election
would
was
win?
left to be free and fair, Bola Tinubu will not win.
Then who would have
Is
won?
that his fault?
Win. They switched up the beavers, true or false?
No, come on.
True or false?
Look, Ellen, you're still crying over spilt milk. Let me go into let me go into Matt Godwin. Look, the history has been made. No matter how you lament, and keep telling us that you won the stolen mandate, it's never become a reality. It's never going to become a reality. Go on.
I have a question. Now, for a project where billions of naira was being spent, and at the end of the day, INEC chairman gave an excuse that the beavers was faulty, they switched it off. Until today, INEC chairman is still there, probably ready to conduct the next election. Tinubu never questioned what happened during the election to say, hey, after spending billions, you can't tell us something like that the beavers was not working. We need somebody that can do this job.
So he should become a dictator.
So you want
Tinubu should become a dictator.
So you want him to be removed. You want him to be removed.
You want him to be a dictator and remove him.
And whoever replaces him will give victory to Peter Obi. Is that what you're saying?
Was he not a dictator in Port Harcourt? Was he not?
Okay. Let me go to Matt Godwin.
Stop saying that.
Let's go to Matt Godwin.
Stop saying that. Stop insulting everyone
here. You have to allow him to speak. Doctor, you have to allow him to speak. He's speaking his own mind. On this show, we don't stop people from having their own opinion. You are free to disagree with him, but you can't stop him. You can't stop him. You can't tell him to stop saying what he's saying. He's free to have his opinion. Let me go.
As far as Doctor is concerned, as long as it's APC, he's right. I think now we have continuity. From APC to APC.
Listen, we're coming to the hour. We're coming to the hour now. Listen, we're coming to the hour now. So I want to remind everyone that we're watching BETTA9JA and Soro Soke. Please let me speak. The show dedicated to debate and discussions for a better Nigeria. We're carrying on now into current affairs. And we know today, I'm coming to you, Master Matt Godwin, that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria signed 4 tax bills into law today. A massive development for Nigeria. Is going to be a revolution in terms of raising taxes and fixing up our physical and monetary, our physical engagement in Nigeria in terms of operating and taxes. We also know that for quarter one of 2025, the federal government raised a total of 6 trillion revenue for the first time, the record ever. That's never happened before. In fact, in 2023, when he took over, the revenue for quarter one of 2023 was only 3 trillion. Now it's 6.9 trillion. So something is happening. Things are happening. What say you about this new tax bill? Is it a good thing for Nigeria? And do you think it's going to turn the corner? Because these are the revolutionary steps, that reforms that President Tinubu is doing, that is not getting any thanks from the like of Peter Praise Uyi and others. What say to you to this?
No, that it's an impressive move. If it could be pulled out, I think this will change a lot. We don't pay tax in Nigeria. You all know this. A lot of companies, a lot of people. I mean, that's how it's been. So, good one by the president. I give kudos to Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration on that one. Thank you.
Okay, I've gone to you, Pastor. We understand that 2,000 tractors were commissioned by President Tinubu today. That's going to become a revolution in our mechanized agriculture. He says he wants to make agriculture sexy for the youth. We understand this was facilitated by one of his neighbors, Alex, a Belarusian, who was a neighbor and a schoolmate from Chicago State University. Will this revelation mean that things in our agriculture will now start to change? And there's also the question of transparency and cronyism with the deal, because the guy was an ex-person that from Chicago State University, someone that he knows. But at the end of the day, we've got 1,000 tractors and thousands of mechanical equipment along with that, and there's more to come. Is this good for Nigeria in terms of us feeding ourselves?
Well, Femi, these tractors, how are they going to be distributed? Are they going to be distributed evenly to all the states so that every state can begin to use them, effectively towards mechanized farming? Because I mean, having 2,000 tractors, how is it going to be distributed? Is it going to be beneficiary to those who really need it the most? That's what we should be asking ourselves. So you're telling me now, yeah, I heard the news, and we should applaud that, but 2,000 tractors. 2,000 tractors for 36 states. How is that going to be allocated? How is it going to be apportioned? Who are going to be the beneficiaries?
I'm sure they'll work that out. And as I said, that's not the beginning. That's not the big end of it, because 2,000 for 250 million people is like a drop in the ocean. But I can tell you now that with what one tractor can do more than 10 hectares, clear 10 hectares in a day. So if you've got 1,000, you can imagine how many hectares that is going to clear. That's one thing I want to say to you. So it's not just, it is the beginning, and we want to see more of it, because Fraser has told us that Nigerians are dying of hunger. They're not eating 3 square meals a day. I think if they embrace agriculture, they'll be able to eat more than 3 square meals a day.
That is why I asked you, Femi, because, okay, we have to understand that, devolution of power is very, very important, across all the 772 local governments we have in Nigeria. So if we have 2,000 tractors that the president says is going to be on offer, how is that going to be distributed equally to all 36 states? That's all I need to know. Okay. You as a farmer, you know that one tractor can clear 10,000 hectares. I don't know that because I'm not a farmer, but you are in that trade anyway. So it all depends on, okay, how many of these tractors are going to be distributed or allocated to each state. So when it gets to each state, who is going to be in charge of how these tractors are going to be distributed? Who is going to be the main? Who are going to be the main beneficiaries?
All eyes on the Ministry of Agriculture, all eyes on the tractors. Let's find out and see what eventually happens. I hope that our media, the opposition especially, the channels, the Arise, will follow the footprint of those tractors to see it actually be working, or whether those tractors are dud tractors that don't actually work. So let's find out. Praise, let me go on to you. Natasha Akoti is still in the headlines. She was granted 50 million bail in her criminal libel case. What are your thoughts? Is government trying to silence dissent, or is this a matter of upholding the law?
At the end of the day, have they spoken to our allegation? No. They've not. Instead, the federal government is suing Natasha. So it makes no sense. This lady accused the Senate president of something very serious. And yet, up till now, they are not even speaking to that matter. So you can...
The matter's in court now.
That's not yeah, but the main issue now is the federal government sued her. The federal,
both are happening in Paris. Both cases are happening at the same time.
What I would like to speak about that you did not probably ask me would be the Ada. If you give me 1 minute, I would like to talk
go ahead.
about that.
Ada will be. Is it going to be Ada will be? Tell us.
So for me, I think the best thing they can do for the Ada of Ada party they are trying to start up would be to give Obi the presidential ticket. That is the only way they would
to give it to him. To give it to him, not that he needs to fight for it. He should be giving it on a plate of gold.
Yes, they have to give. They have to give Obi the presidential. No, I'm telling you, their best belt. Give Obi, and the Northerners should support him, because Obi just needs that Northern support. That is the only way it will make. Because if you give Obi is going to clear the East. He will clear the South. He's going to do well in the West. Give him that support, and maybe make a deal with him to do only 4 years, because a Southerner has already done 4 years. And after then, they can push him out and the Northerner will take over. For me, that's their best belt. And if I have the opportunity to advise Obi, should not go for VP with anybody. It's not going to fly. The best thing Ada can do now is to give Obi the support. And give him that.
But as it stands now, we don't even know if Obi is part of that alliance, because we have not heard anything. He's not said anything about it.
It will not be a difficult. It's
Femi, can I just chip into
Obi is on the edge right now. anything he
in a
does
minute,
now
Mr.
can destroy his political career. So
Okay.
Obi has to be very careful. But the best
Okay.
thing that can happen now is to give Obi the presidential ticket, and people
To
like
give
Atiku, Erufa,
him.
everybody will give him the support
Okay.
because Obi have natural love from a lot of Nigerians.
Okay.
He just needs
Okay.
that support.
But you know,
Yeah.
it won't work out like
Praise,
that.
Let me go on to
Of course,
Mystique.
it won't
Mystique.
work. I'm just saying
Mystique.
what would be the
praise.
best
Okay,
if they
praise.
would
Just one
accept,
second.
but
Let
they
me
will
just
fight for their self-interest anyway.
chip in this one before I go back off. Praise.
No,
Two things.
stay with us. We need female
Praise.
engagement.
First off, who will give him tickets? Say what you know. I just came back
I'm not
from
saying they
Nigeria.
will do it.
I just
I'm
came
just
back from
saying
Nigeria a few
Let
days
us speak,
ago.
Praise.
I just came from Nigeria a few days ago. If you say that if you say Obi was loved, I will kudos you on that. But to say that Obi is true, that people still feel the same way they felt during Obedient, I'll tell you categorically no. Because things change, time changed, and a lot of people, he disappointed a lot of his members, people. So now saying that all he needs is the northern votes and he's lost other places, Obi will struggle to get the Igbo vote, I tell you this now, if he comes back. And then regardless, now you're saying if he gets the Ada ticket, the greatest mistake he will make is try to struggle to get into that Ada ticket, whether as presidential candidate or number two. If he joins that coalition, that is the end of his political career.
I agree with you. That's why I said before he would do that, he has to be sure that he will get the presidential ticket. And
Even
that is
if
the
he
best thing
does,
they can
I'm
do.
telling
Because
you now.
for me, I believe Tinubu is
No,
going
but
to
I'm
win
telling
again,
you, even if
no
he
matter
gets
what.
the
Because the
presidential
best
ticket,
they have.
I'm
Yeah, go
saying,
on.
even if he gets the presidential ticket, he's not winning this election. Even if he gets the presidential.
Let me get to my Godwin.
I agree with you. I'm just telling you the best belt
Yeah,
they have.
my Godwin.
I believe
My
Tinubu is
God.
going to win.
Okay, good.
Because
Let me
Tinubu
give it
knows
to my
what to
Godwin.
do.
My Godwin.
He knows how to read it. So
interesting
there's no
Okay,
problem.
Praise.
discussions.
He will not
Let
run
me
away
speak
with
to my
it
Godwin. Praise,
at
please.
all costs.
My
He knows
Godwin.
what to do.
Praise. Please stop. My Godwin, it's for you. Now, are you listening to what what Praise is saying? He said if they give the ticket to Obi, what is the difference between them giving the ticket to Buhari? Isn't that going to be another load of nonsense that we don't want in our politics? We don't want people giving anybody anything because then it's quid pro quo. I gave you this, then when it's
Would he
finished,
not be
you
given
must
to
give it to me.
Tinubu? He's going
Emiloko.
to be
That
given
was
to
what we'll be
Tinubu,
hearing
yes or no?
in
It will be given
2031.
to
We'll be hearing
Tinubu.
Emiloko. So we don't want that kind of give. Anyone who wants to get any ticket for any party must fight and win
Then he
and
will. Is
deservedly.
Tinubu
If
going
he
to fight
doesn't
for
win,
APC
he doesn't
ticket?
win. No one should give anybody
Femi, will
anything. What do
Tinubu
you
fight
think?
for APC ticket?
Pray, let
Just
my
answer
Godwin
me.
speak
Will
now.
Well,
Tinubu
What's
fight
your
for APC
opinion?
yeah.
ticket?
My
No,
Godwin, are you also agreeing that
praises.
they should give it to him?
Yeah, Praise is passionate about what he believes in, and you won't blame Praise. There are many Nigerians like him. Lady Marlene, it's not true. OBC has huge followers going with him. Many Nigerian young people are still with him. We check those
Should
numbers
they
out.
give him the
Yes,
ticket?
there might be some fallout, but there are still some very good followers with him.
Should they give him the ticket?
So yeah, the ticket thing, and it'll be normally hear this, everybody. The rule in politics, in political party, the ethics is you fight to get the vote to be a candidate. That's the norm with all political parties. But Nigeria is playing out something very different. Like I said earlier, I don't know where we're learning our own politics, but somehow the political parties in Nigeria will just get a figure, get a candidate, and say, "You go get this thing." Yeah, undisputed. Nobody comes against him. And that's what many people believe. That's how, like, praise, that's how they see it. So, yes, it might happen if Obi agrees, but I know for sure Obi will not want to go into any alliance with anybody for now. He still, remember when they had that one with the three different parties, SDP, ADC, and the other party, he wasn't part of it. Even though some people will be adding his name to it, they want to create that frenzy by adding his name to it, but he has not said anything about any of those alliances, and I don't think he's going to join any Ada, Obi, or anything for now. So that's what it is. Yes, they might just want him in and just give him the ticket, but also you guys remember Atiku is sure. I don't know the prophet that told him he's going to be Nigerian president someday, but he's hell bent on coming again. Hell bent on coming. So that's what it is.
Let me go on to Pastor. Pastor, do you expect Governor Fubara to be reinstated as governor of Rivers at the end of the suspension period, or is this suspension likely to be extended following the National Assembly's passing of the Rivers State's 1.4 trillion appropriation bill? As it stands, Fubara has not sought audience or reconciliation with the Rivers State, House of Assembly Speaker Martin Amiele-Wule and the other PDP leaders. Do you think he's going to come back, or the suspension is going to be extended?
Femi, to be honest with you, I think listened to it was in a program a few months ago, and he was actually saying to some of his supporters that he's actually from the time of his suspension that his spirit has actually left the state out, that he doesn't feel like going back. You see, and I can sense the frustration in his tone. You see, with what has happened in Rivers State over the last few months till the time a state of emergency was declared there, a lot of people will always have one thing to say: "Oh, you should have waited. You know, you don't bite the fingers that fed you and all that." But he just felt, look, okay, you know, if I've been elected by the good people of Rivers State, and you know, there's so many external forces that is not allowing me to do my job, okay, and Wike, you know, when he was governor of that state, everybody gave him a free hand, but he's not allowing this guy to do what the people elected him to do, saying, okay, we put you there, so it is on our terms. Then definitely, you know, him coming back is just going to be a wasteful exercise, because at the end of the day, it's still going to be, you know, you do it our way or you get out. And even if he comes back, there's no guarantee that he's going to be reelected anyway. So I think for him to do the honorable thing, whether the suspension continues or they reinstate him, you know, the objective has already been defeated. Do you understand, Femi? You know, it's not going to be the same governor he was. The objective has already been defeated. Them taking him out and humiliating him by declaring a state of emergency, which is unconstitutional, the purpose has already been defeated. So if he has any integrity left in him,
which is better, suspension or impeachment?
I think he should just probably just accept his fate and just move on, you know. And you see, coming back is just is not worth it, because if he makes,
you think he should resign?
Yeah, I think he should just resign honorably. That is if he has any integrity left, honorably, and just forget about it. Because coming back is just it's just going to be on their terms, because already they've had their way already by removing him from office anyway. So it doesn't make sense.
I've not heard of any governor honorably resigning. I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah,
Doctor, this is for you. Having seriously curtailed Iran's alleged pursuit of nuclear weapons and secured a ceasefire and what Trump has coined the 12-day war, will this lead to eventual ceasefire and an end to the ongoing genocide campaign by Israel in Gaza? Do you think that Trump can get Netanyahu to stop the madness that's happening in Gaza?
Femi, the madness in the Middle East is appalling, to say of it. And the bullying nature of the Israeli government and American in this is condemnable. But also, in the line of all this, you have to also put into consideration the kind of government in Iran. The rhetorics from Iran is also not palatable. So if one has to be very careful. I'm very, very cautious in taking position in the issue of the Middle East, especially with the nuclear progress Iran is making, and the rhetoric that's coming from there, especially with Ayatollah Khomeini and his antecedents. So I'm very cautious in the issue of the Middle East. I've been very, very cautious in making comments about the issue on the Middle East. I'm more concerned about what happens in Africa, what happens in Nigeria. I'm more focused on that. So I will, on the issue of the Middle East, I will pass. I'm not interested.
Okay, no problem. Praise, this one's
But
for you,
I
and
want
I
to
know
say
you're going
something,
to.
Dr. Femi.
Okay,
Dr. Femi,
go on then. Go on then. Go on.
you're
Yes,
a
yes.
media man. You're a media man. You're a spokesperson. People listen to you. I would advise you add those. I mean, it makes you very. It makes the whole thing very resourceful, because it's one nation, where it's one globe, one continent, one village, media village, and your views on each of these things matters to those that listen to you. I tell you, I
I
know
don't
what I'm
have a
saying.
view. I don't have
For
a
example,
view
don't
on it.
like to talk about Nigeria news because it's really
Yeah.
fragmented. But
Well, do you
because
have
I'm a
a view?
Anthony,
business
I don't
What's
have a
your view?
view
What's
on
your
the
view?
Middle East, and
go
I don't want
around
to have a
What's
all of
view.
it.
your view? What's your view, Matt Godwin? If you have a view, tell us.
No, it's so complicated, but it's a good news to have the ceasefire, and we hope they
Yes.
both adhere to it. They both said yes, it's time. They need to stop this. My other view is that the nuclear enrichment program going on in Iran, somehow the Iranians are not too controlled people. They're very volatile, very, they act irrational. So
Well,
having such
that
a weapon, such a device or whatever with them, we are prone to anything. So
yeah, but I want to disagree with you, because if you look at this Middle East now, there's only one nuclear power in the Middle East, and that's Israel. And who is attacking practically every country in the Middle East? Israel, with the nuclear weapons. So I don't know how you call who's
no, but
erratic
no,
and who's.
yes, no. I mean, you know what I'm saying. Israel has
And I
never
know
used
what I'm
any of
saying
these
too.
things. I know what you're saying too, but I mean,
What I'm
they've not
saying
used
is,
any of those.
if you were to do a body count of the number of people that
Yeah.
have been killed by Israel, the number of buildings that have been destroyed by Israel, the number of communities and livelihoods that have been destroyed by Israel since 1948, and how many has been done by those fighting them, there's no comparison whatsoever. What we really need is
No,
a
but
holistic peace. We need a holistic peace in the Middle East.
yeah, that's true.
A
That's
peace where Israel has all the chips and all and US that can call, is not going to result in peace. And maybe I must say this: I despise President Trump, but on this one, I give kudos to him. I say that, you know what? At the end of the day, if indeed Iran was working on weapons of mass destruction, they've done a great job there. And in getting the peace too, he's done another thing. But that flies in the face of his silence on Palestinians who are going to get food aid, being shot in the head, shot in the neck on a daily basis, tens of them. I mean, this is outrageous.
but
And the fact that our media...
that happens when they use these people as human shield. Israel doesn't intentionally come on them.
It's unconscionable. They're going to get food aid. They're not going to bomb anybody. They're going to get food aid. I don't see how we can cover up for that.
That is the rhetorics you hear. That's the rhetorics. You are not there.
I can't hear it.
They're not there.
People are on the ground. The people on the ground are there, and they're showing it live. They're showing it live. This is not a religious thing for me. This is about people. If people are going for food aid, and you're restricting, do you know what I also find funny as we're coming to end? A lot of people who are Israeli supporters supporting this genocide were, up in arms during the 60s when the federal government was withholding aid and food to the people of Biafra. You remember what happened then? The propaganda, there was a genocide and whatever. But the same people now today cannot see the equivalence. And I think that's hypocrisy of the highest order. We want peace all over the world. If you must attack combatants, but don't allow the majority of people to be starving. Is it until we have kwashiorkor babies on the screens before you know that the people of Gaza are dying of hunger? I don't know what more you need.
Yeah, no.
Femi, when you have a foreign policy of a nation is to wipe another nation out. The foreign policy of a nation is to wipe
We're
another
not talking
nation
about
out.
Iran now.
So
We're talking about
that's why
Palestine.
I said I don't want
We're
to go
talking about
into
Palestine. You need to go into it.
It is too
We're
complicated.
talking about ordinary people. We're not talking about government now. We're not talking about Hamas. I'm talking about ordinary people. And you must separate ordinary people from the government. It's just like what happened during the time of Biafra. The federal government said that what happened then was that they were blocking food, not because they were blocking food, but because the then General Ojukwu refused to accept aid from the federal government. Because,
go and read about suicide bombing in Israel by the common people you're talking about. Suicide bombing.
When was the last suicide bombing? Can you remember?
It's because
how many years?
The Israelis changed their tactics on this.
No. The point is, you're talking about something that happened, but you do want to talk about it, but you're trying to cover up yourself. The point is, the last time there was a civil suicide bombing must be decades ago. So it's not about suicide bombing. It's about killing innocent people. That's what I'm talking about. Are you saying that that's okay?
No. Femi, understand what's behind that whole blocking food distribution. You know, there's a politics in all of this thing. There's so much around it. It's not just what it is, but also the good news is, Femi, the good news is some of those restrictions has been lifted up. I don't know if you followed that recently. As at Tuesday morning, a lot of trucks got into the Palestinian side and distributed food.
Drop in the ocean. But you know what? You know, so long as it's not our people, it's okay if they die.
Huh?
I said, so long as it's not our people, if Palestinians are dying, it doesn't matter. I can't imagine a situation. Praise was making noise, was shouting that Nigerians are dying. They can't eat 3 square meals a day. He was saying that on this channel just a few moments ago. And I'm talking about millions of Palestinians that can't eat and that are being bombed on their way to get food aid. And we're equivocating and we're saying, well, we're giving excuses. I just find that unbelievable.
No. It's not excuses. There are different situations, and like I said, go with the real-time news. The real-time news is the passage has been opened, food distribution have started, and
anyway, I've said no.
Now, our case is a different thing. We're not in any war. Take note, we're not in any war situation. Nigeria is.
Are you sure about that?
In its peaceful moment now, but look at what is happening. People can feed. So it's totally different. And when you look at
but you know something, but this idea that people can't feed, I keep saying it's a false narrative, because if there was indeed a situation where people can't feed, we would have famine. We would have famine in Nigeria. We don't have famine in Nigeria. That is a false narrative.
The place you're coming from and the people you know are seeing, they are feeding, they are eating. Listen, I'm telling you, children on the street. I mean, you see those pictures. Praise. Does Femi need us to upload pictures for him? I have countless of those.
Please upload pictures and video of people who are not the people who are in ID camps. People, normal Nigerians who are starving and suffering from kwashiorkor. Please put it on. I would love to see that. I want our media. I would want
before you know they are hungry.
I want us to do a program specifically on this myth. I want us to do a program specifically on this myth of Nigerians are dying of hunger. Because for me, it's a false narrative. It's not true at all.
It's real, Femi. It's
real.
People are waking up.
I want to thank you all for joining us on tonight's show, BETTA9JA, Soro Soke. Please make sure, Soro Soke, don't be shy, don't be silent. If you say something, say something. If you can't take it no more, do something about it. Naija go better. Believe in one Naija. We all want a better Naija. A big shout out to our sponsors, Masasi B Fashions, Share My Haven Beauty Products, I'm losing it, and Prime View Television. I'm your host, Mr. Femi Oke, founder of BETTA9JA. See you same time next week when we'll debate yet another hot topic. It's been a great one, but we're going to do a next program specifically about hunger in Nigeria and agricultural advantage. See you same time next week. Over and out.
Nice. All right.
Prime View TV.